Well, cold weather has gripped the country. The polar vortex is at work, delivering snow and cold and very cold to the point where we're talking wind chill factors between 50 to 60 below zero Fahrenheit. That is really, really cold. It's actually snowing outside of my house right now. We're waiting to see whether that's going to mean a delay for me for work tomorrow. But I thought for this particular episode of Unsealed, since we're talking about snow and cold, why not talk about two snow-related video games that I have to open up for you in this particular episode. That is kind of the theme here. I thought about doing hockey for this, but hockey I'm going to kind of wait a little bit to do. These are more extreme sports-oriented. The first one that I have is a snowboarding game, and it's for the original PlayStation. Now, I have to preface this by saying that snowboarding games, I am terrible at snowboarding games. I have a few of them. X Games Pro Boarder, for example, is one that stands out to me, if only because the soundtrack is really good. Has a licensed soundtrack. Radical Entertainment had actually put it together. It was a ESPN title, and it was one of the ESPN titles that was supposed to be made. That one actually wound up coming to fruition, but the ESPN hockey game that was supposed to come out never came out. But that's a story for another time. So the Cool Borders games, I'm terrible at those. Even though I like to try and play them, I'm pretty terrible at them. But I have one here that has caught my interest because I played a demo of it, and I thought it was kind of up my alley, and I'll find out when I play it more. So in looking at the instruction manual, this will be the first time that I'm looking at it along with you. The game I'm talking about is Accolade's Big Air. This guy right here, and yet you can definitely see a dude getting some big air. This is from Accolade. This is from the Test Drive people. Test Drive 6 also. There's a demolition game that came out from the same people, and we'll try and touch on that in a little bit. But yes, dude is definitely getting some air here. He is all bundled up. Killer snowboarding action, says Game Pro. We'll see about that. On the back here, it says launch into big air. Unfortunately, the wrapping on this is a little beat up, but I got a pretty good deal on it. That's why it's here. So, extreme snowboarding action, because you cannot have a snowboarding game without the word extreme somewhere in there. Compete in big air, half pipe, border cross, free ride race, and free ride trick events. Gear up with real snowboards and apparel from Palmer, Ride, K2, Nitro, Morrow, Joyride, Quicksilver, Arbor, West Beach, Wave Rave, Maui, and Sons, and more. I know a couple of those. K2 sounds familiar. Palmer sounds familiar, and Quicksilver sounds familiar. Again, I don't wear any of that stuff because me on a snowboard is an instant emergency room visit, so I don't do that. Challenge Real Pro Borders. So Sean Palmer is in his game. Sean Palmer would go on to later have his own game under the Activision O2 label in Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarder. I believe that I opened that one up on camera. I'd have to look back in the episodes to find it. So Sean Palmer, Nicola Thost. Wow, these names are bad. Fabian Rohrer, Ian Spiro, Michael Bialo, and Ross Powers. I think Ross Powers also sounds familiar for some reason. Pull-off scores of authentic tricks while racing down snow and ice-covered mountain courses at breakneck speeds. So again, it's the name of the game. With everything being so cold and icy, why not do a snowboarding game? 24 unique courses in 6 international locations. That's kind of cool. Thrashing 2-player split-screen action. Remember when split-screen used to be a thing? Yeah, me too. Scorching soundtrack featuring Diesel Boy, Snuff, Gangster Fun, Limp, Leatherface, Tantrum, Monkey, The Odd Numbers, Caustic Notions, and Andalusia. If that sounds interesting to you, then this is the game for you. 1 or 2 players, only 1 memory block needed on the memory card, analog control compatible and vibration function compatible. So if you have a DualShock controller, you'll be able to enjoy this game to the fullest. Now, interesting, although this is an Accolade game, this was actually distributed by Electronic Arts. You can actually see the EAD label, and you can also see in the barcode EA9725. So this was actually distributed by EA, for those that care. This does, however, have the Accolade name on the ID tag with the Big Air name, 1 disc. And we're going to go ahead and open this up. And this shouldn't be too hard because, like I said, the plastic on this was not in good shape. So let's go ahead and just take that right off of there, just like that. That was easy. And we'll take the ID tag off. and we'll take a look at the instruction manual here really quick. I am looking forward to trying this out. I'm hoping to find a snowboarding game that I can actually play, but we'll see about this one. So when we open this up, oh, that's kind of cool. If you think cold, what do you think? You probably think the color blue, and that's what's here. It is a blue Big Air disc, and we'll take the instruction manual out here and look at that really quick. The instruction manual is 20 pages long, so that's not too bad. You can, if you want, send a fax to Accolade Customer and Technical Support, or at least you could back then. And there is a hint line, 1-900-454-HINT, 99 cents a minute. Remember, if you're under 18, please get a parent's permission before calling. So the instruction manual is black and white. There are some obscenely large screenshots. There's one right there. There is an Accolade registration card. Postage will be paid by addressee. That is pretty rare to actually have the postage paid by the company rather than you putting a stamp on it. So that's kind of neat. Let's see. So this is what the Accolade card looks like right there. Let's see if there's anything interesting on here. On a scale of A through F, how would you rate this product? A, B, C, D, or F. So apparently you're giving it a letter grade. That's interesting. What kind of games interest you? Adventure, action, arcade, strategy, role-playing, sci-fi, simulation, educational, war, military, sports, and others. What factors influence this purchase? Magazine review, magazine ad, salesperson, packaging, price, friend, rental, in-store display, received as gift, and other. So internet is not an option. What systems do you own? These are always fun lists to go through. IBM PC, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Sega CD, Saturn, Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Atari Jaguar or Jaguar, Macintosh, or other. Do you own a modem? That was an interesting question back then. And which online services do you use? America Online, that was me back in 1999. That's what I used. CompuServe, Internet, just straight up Internet. MPlayer, 10, and Heat. 10 was a multiplayer network, I think. I'm trying to remember what Heat stood for, but those are the options there. When we look at the manual itself, and again, on every page, they have obscenely large screenshots. I don't understand why that is. Certainly good for my weakening vision. You can see that there. The play controls are fairly easy, at least to begin with, for navigation of the menus. But once you get to the actual play controls, forget it. It's going to take some practice for me to learn that. So this is pretty interesting. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I have one more game to open, but I'm hoping that this is more of an arcade feel rather than a simulation feel. I really struggled with the Cool Borders games, but I really want to play a snowboarding game that's easy for me to pick up and play. Sean Palmer's another one of those that's pretty easy. It's basically Tony Hawk on a snowboard, so I'm hoping that this one is kind of the same thing. So that's from 1999, by the way, so this game is now 20 years old. My, how time flies, right? All right. And this second game of the episode comes from Konami. No, it's not Castlevania. It's not Trevor Belmont on a snowboard. It's nothing like that. This is a game called Whiteout. And that's exactly what it is. It's white outside right now. It is about 3 to 4 inches of snow on the ground. Not looking forward to driving in that tomorrow. But you can see, rather than a snowboard, this is a snowmobiling game, it looks like. I have not played this either, so this is going to be a first for me. Here is what the back of the case looks like. I'll try and let you see here. There's the original Konami symbol. Man, I missed that. So there we go. So this is from 2002, by the way. Real winter racing at blinding speeds. Experience the thrills and chills of snowmobile racing action with Whiteout, the fastest racing game on one tread. This, to me, just by looking at the screenshots in the back, reminds me of SSX, but with a snowmobile instead of with a snowboard. We'll see about that when we get to the instruction manual. You can race head-to-head. You can prepare for sudden flurries. Sudden flurries aren't going to bother anybody. Now, sudden snow squalls, we can talk. Find that shorter route. Help yourself to power-ups. Let's see here. Show your stuff with the objective-based arcade mode. Unlocking new tracks along the way. That sounds like it's my thing. Accessorize your airtime with over 30 tricks, scoring additional cred for difficulty. Go for broke in the progressive career mode, where you'll live the life of a real snowcross athlete. Except you're not a real snowcross athlete. You're a virtual one. Carve up 9 winter wonderlands, each with alternate routes and hidden shortcuts. choose from 14 unique sled designs, both dual and single tread machines. So I'm going to have to learn about snowmobiles because I know nothing about them. We'll take a look at the top there again. Whiteout. It is from Konami. And again, just because I like to show it, there is the Konami seal right there. Gosh, Konami seal, I miss you so very much. Let's go ahead and open this up. It's going to be one of those, isn't it? One of these times, man. I keep reminding myself I need to get scissors, and I don't listen to myself because I'm talking to myself. Of course, that's what I do on these videos anyway. All right, let's take this off of there. There we go. There. No plastic is going to beat me. All right, and let's take the top label off. I know these episodes tend to go run long. I appreciate you guys sticking with me as I go through these. I know I could just do one game, but for this particular episode, I thought I would do two. So we'll take the label off. There's that. We're going to open this up. I want to make sure the disc doesn't fall out. Oh, nice. Okay. So the disc looks very much like the front cover. It's got that weird snowflake type design, and there's the instruction manual as well, and we'll take a look at that instruction manual. By the way, this is one of those blue-backed CD-ROM based games, so if your PS2 is having trouble reading those blue-backed CDs, this is not the game for you. But if you have a PlayStation 2 that plays everything, you can certainly check this out. It is not very expensive. I got this brand new for about $10, so you could probably find the used copy even cheaper than that. So the instruction manual, there's a registration card. The instruction manual is about 32 pages long. There is an ad on the back for a game I have also covered on this channel, on this show, Evolution in Skateboarding, a game that I talked about briefly way back last year. So here's the warranty card right there. And yes, Konami was cheap. They did make you pay your own postage. Why be cheap, guys? Why be cheap? Okay, the instruction manual is nice. It is in color, so it's one of the rare ones that was in color. Of course, this being 2002, this was before they were starting to cut costs with printing and such. Oh my goodness, I am going to have a lot of work to do here. We're seeing with the trick controls, there's a lot of L1 and R1 button presses. I'll go to the next page so you can see because it extends all the way through there. So it's something I'm going to have to get used to. It's something I had a trouble with SSX. So there are... Oh, you get health in this game. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? Stunts, health. So there's a career mode here, arcade, quick race, which is something you want to play just to get used to the game. Time trial, which is just racing against the clock. Driver select screen, of course, because you're driving a snowmobile. It's not like snowboarding, so it's a little bit different there. Talking about the heads-up display. I'd have to look at this instruction manual, and I will look at it more when I actually get a chance to play this. But there's a lot to it. Here's a bit on the career mode right there. It says here, compete against the best of the best in a snowcross career. Take aim at series wins and compete for parts, sleds, and rider upgrades and bonus race competitions. Manage your career in sled, and you'll earn the right to race for the glory and money in the climactic championship at the Tundra Dome. Certainly seems interesting enough. It's nice of them to actually have some kind of single-player mode like that where you want to go back and replay time and again. Hopefully the gameplay will be somewhat worth it. There is a soundtrack list here. Let's see if there's anyone here that I know. Third Strike. Bionic Jive. Reveille I've heard of. I've heard of them. Quasimodo, Motion Man. Bad Religion is here with Supersonic and Schoolyard. So I don't know a lot about this. I will figure it out. Maybe I'll do a video or I'll put something on Twitter when I get a chance to play it and let you know what I thought. But I thought that this was a really cool find. Again, I got it for less than $10 new, and for this particular show, finding sealed games that are less than $10, yeah, I'm going to jump on those when I have the extra money to go ahead and do so. So to all of you who are freezing and shivering across the United States right now, I empathize with you. We are getting ready for our little cold snap starting on Thursday, so that's a day from now. So I hope you guys are keeping warm. We are closer to spring than we are to the beginning of winter, I believe. So try and think warm thoughts. And until the next episode, my friends, take care of yourselves and each other. And I'll see you next time. Bye.